Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening and watching. This is Nefertiti, aka Yogi Lifter Nef, and this is day 9 of the self-love journey, my self-love journey, our self-love journey. And I wanted to talk to you today about some of the books I've read or that I am reading on my self-love journey. And these books, I feel, really explain self-love in clear, easy to understand terms. And I also believe that the authors are very passionate about what they write about because they've had to go through some hardships in their life and have definitely had to apply the self-love principles that they write about in their books in very practical ways. So I really, really like that. So the first book is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And I love this book. I think that it's mandatory reading for anyone that is on the self-love path, on the self-love journey. I think it's required reading because she talks about what self-love is. She talks about the ways that we don't love ourselves. And she also gets into the root of the self-loathing and why it is that we don't love ourselves, and helps us to remember that, we are loved and worthy and all that good stuff. So definitely read this book. I would say this is the first book that you should start with. The second book is going to be Extreme Self-Care. And I really like this book because Cheryl Richardson really talks about the day-to-day activities and the things that you can do that are more tangible to practice self-love and self-care. And I really, really like the way that she gives a lot of practical examples. And she also gives you kind of a list to work off of, and you can utilize this over a year's time or over a month. And I really, really like this book. So definitely check it out. The third book I'm going to talk about is Spirit Junkie by Gabrielle Bernstein. And she utilizes the principles of A Course in Miracles the principles of A Course in Miracles in her life to practice self-love. She's had a past of drug abuse, and she, really talks candidly about that in her book. And she's just a fantastic, fantastic person, a very, very talented life coach and spiritual guide. She has a YouTube channel as well, so please check her out. I love her videos. But definitely read this book. I think that it's very, very beneficial for anybody on that self-love path, and anybody that has a past of, she talks about the archetypes of like mean girl, rich dad, and, living over the tracks and things like that. So I really like that. The fourth book I'm going to talk about is I Heart Me by David Hamilton. And I really, really like this book. Dr. Hamilton has a background in organic chemistry, and he really explains how self-love affects us in a physical way. And so I really, really like that. So definitely check out his book. He has a lot of practical exercises that you can do. He calls them self-love gems. And yes, it's a really, really easy read. So I definitely like this book. The last book I'm going to talk about today is Your Sacred Self by Wayne Dyer. And this book gets into more of the spiritual aspects of self-love and why, it's really the purpose why we're all, it's the reason why we're all here is to love ourselves and to serve humanity. And that's what this book is about in a nutshell, just kind of explaining that and honoring that decision within yourself, honoring your decision to get on your life path and to do what you came here to do. So definitely read this book. He has a lot of good quotes in there. There's a lot of good, he's got a really good story too. He recently passed away, but Wayne Dyer had 8 children, and he definitely has some stories that we can all relate to in his book. So definitely check it out. So I hope this was helpful, and this is just some of the books. Now, there's definitely more self-love books out there, and I'm curious if you're reading any self-love books, definitely list them in the comments below. I'd love to check them out. And yeah, this will probably be one of the videos I'm doing on the books. I'm going to definitely do another video on some of the spiritual books that I've read as well. So thank you for listening and watching. Namaste, and I will see you tomorrow.